Hi everyone, my name is Masha and I'm thrilled to be with you here today at World City Festival. We're all part of shaping the future of our cities and I'm excited to be with you here virtually today. We are at WRLDCTY Studios in Los Angeles. We're gonna dive into DJing 101. I'll show you how to mix two songs in the later part of the video and I'll share some of my tips and tricks on how to look for new music and prepare for your sets. I began my DJ career in 2013. I was working at an event production company and I got to book a lot of DJs, curate lineups, be creative in that way, but I still really wanted to actually be playing the music for people. So I hit up everybody that I knew to practice on their gear. I didn't have the equipment at the time, I could not afford it. And I had a rotating list of everybody I knew who owned the gear, and I was just trying to get in there as much as possible to practice and get better. And all that hard work paid off. And finally, I was able to afford my own gear and really improve dramatically. In 2014, I started my own party, Dig Deeper LA, with my partner Allison Swing. We wanted to create a platform where we could book whoever we wanted, and we wanted to champion this warm house sound that we weren't seeing being represented anywhere in LA. And it really kicked off once we began booking out-of-town guests, people like the Blessed Madonna, Jay Daniel, K-Hand, Studio Barnhouse, Danielle Baldelli, the list goes on and on. By starting my own party and being a resident there and getting to play a lot in the city, I then got to play Coachella in 2016. I played the Yuma tent, I DJ'd there, and then my DJ career kicked off and I began touring everywhere. I'm very grateful for the DIY scene that we have here in LA that allows us to just start our own parties and build community. Half of being a DJ is your song selection. So even before you have access to the gear or own it, way before that, you should really be building your library and building your collection. I encourage going on wormholes, spending hours and hours finding stuff that you like. You may have to sift through a lot of things that aren't that exciting, but then ultimately you'll build a really nice library. I've seen some very proficient DJs who are technically skilled play really boring sets. So you want to spend a lot of time curating your collection and your song selection. It's going to go a long way, and that's something that you could start doing now. So for buying music digitally, Bandcamp is my #1 place I go to. Even if a song is available somewhere else, I will try to buy it off Bandcamp because the artist and the labels get the most money back from the consumer that buys the song. So Bandcamp is my #1. Beatport is also one of the most popular places to buy dance music. There's also Juno Records and Juno Download. There's TrackSource. There's a ton of sites out there. For buying vinyl, the best place to go is to local record stores and also to Discogs. That's the #1 vinyl online distributor in the world. Now, how do you prepare for your set? So every gig that I have and every radio show that I have, I spend quite a bit of time preparing and creating a playlist, a folder with songs for that specific gig. When you get booked for your first gig, you got to think about the time of day. Is it a daytime gig? Is it a nighttime gig? You're obviously not going to be playing some really fast techno bangers in the middle of the day if that's not what the vibe of the party is, which usually daytime stuff, it's softer dance music. You also need to think about your set time. If you're opening, if you're closing, if you're playing in the middle, and if you're opening, you really need to take your time building your set and not going too hard too early. It's gonna really ruin the vibe for everyone. People are just arriving, they wanna have a few drinks before they probably get comfortable dancing, and you wanna honor that. You wanna show up there 30 minutes, at least 30 minutes before your set time, ideally an hour before, to get a vibe of the party, the crowd, the other DJ, so that when you transition over, it's smooth and you're not maybe even playing something they've already played that the crowd's already heard, and you know exactly what to do just from observing and being a part of it. A few more tips I have for aspiring DJs is to really know your music. It's super important to show up to a gig knowing what your records or songs are, so that when you're playing, you know exactly when to mix in and out. There's no rule of when to do it. It also depends on the song. You know, some songs have so much going on, you play them till almost the end. Others, they kind of turns into drums the last minute and 30 and you want to mix out then. So know your music, be really comfortable with it. It's going to show during your DJ sets. Also, once you start playing out, you really want to be reading the room. There might be a song that you really love and you play it out and everybody stops dancing and people leave the room. That's your cue to play something else that's going to bring the crowd back. Your job is to make people dance. So now that we've gone over how to prepare for your DJ gig and where to look for music, let's get into the technical fundamentals of how to mix two songs. This is the gear that we're going to be using today. It is the industry standard these days. CDJ 2000s and the Pioneer mixer. Any other mixer works. This is what we have in the studio here. 30 years ago, these weren't around. It was pretty much vinyl only, but now we have this, and it's basically, think of these machines as two CD players. They do have CD players, in fact, but what most DJs use are these little USB sticks. These are super easy to transport, to load up. You want to download Rekordbox, it's free online, and it goes with the CDJ 2000s so that everything's in sync and properly aligned. It's going to make DJing a lot easier for you. So once you've loaded up your USB, you plug it in here, and then you're ready to go. I'll get into the mixer specifics in a bit, but I want to break down DJing into 5 steps. So step 1 is find the song you're going to play and cue it up. So it's really important to know your music well before your gig so that in the moment, you know, when you're responding to the crowd and feeling them out, you know exactly what to play and you're not scrolling through your library looking for stuff. You kind of have an idea of what's in your playlist, and you can easily find it and cue it up. So that's step 1. Step 2 is finding the one. The one is the first part of 4 bars. So a lot of dance music is, or pretty much all of it, is on the 4 count. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So the one is what we're looking for because we want to cue up, we want to sync this one with that one, and then play them in unison. So the one is also the sound of the kick drum, which is the boom, boom, boom sound in dance music. So I'm gonna bring this up all the way for you to hear it. So it's already right on the one. So that's the kick drum boom sound that we're looking for. So now that we found that, we can move to step 3, which is matching the tempo of the songs, matching the BPMs. BPM is the official word for it. This is where you adjust the BPMs, decreasing the BPM by going down, and up is of course increasing. So this is the master track. This is what the audience can hear. And we want to match the speed of this song with that song. You don't want to be increasing or decreasing this and matching it to this one because this is the one that everyone else can hear, and you want to make sure that this one is the one that you sync. So I'm gonna speed this up to 122 so that it's in matching the BPM of that song, and then you set the cue. A lot of this you'd be doing in your headphones, of course, but I'm doing this demo. Now that we've matched the BPM, step 4 is finding the right moment to mix it in. I like to start mixing, of course every song is different, but about 2.5 to 1.5 minutes is when I would get it going, when there's 2 to 1.5 minutes left of the song that's playing. So I'm gonna demo this, and then we can also jump to step 5 because they're kind of connected, which is watching your levels on the mixer. This is coming in here, and see these are matching. They're right at 8, and you want to keep them at 8 or decrease it if the song is getting louder progressively so that the volume is in sync. So I'm just gonna go for it and do the demo. Restart this track. out the bass when I mix the new song and then slowly transition them. I was adjusting the EQ buttons, the bass, the mid, the high, mostly the mid and the bass. Just to recap, I had this bass all the way up and this song up, and then I slowly brought this channel up. I'm just gonna demo without the music, and then switched out the bass, switched out these, and slowly mixed out to make it as seamless as possible. Let's cue up one more and go through those steps a little bit faster this time. So I am selecting a song that I really like, and then I am gonna find the one. I'm gonna do that out loud so that you can hear it. There it is. That was that boom sound we're looking for. So now I pause, scroll back to where the one was. That's the sound you want when you press pause. Whoops. When you cue it. Yep. So we got it. Next step is matching the BPMs. So this song that we just played that's still playing is at 122. This one's at 129. So now we want to decrease the pitch to 122. So now we're there. And then mix it in at the right moment, and then watch the levels EQs. I am gonna just do it, but keep an eye out on what I'm doing with the bass. There's no right or wrong way to take out the bass and the mids. Everyone has their own style, but this is the way that I like to do it. Well, that's it for our DJ 101 lesson. I hope you had a great time, and thanks for being a part of the World City community. Until next time.